And if I can ask one of you guys, make sure you keep an eye on our Twitch chat.
Gotcha.
For when we go, oh, sorry, once it's officially live. I'm not seeing it online just yet.
Yes, it is live.
Alright, perfect. Well, I guess here we are to kick off our 4th season at Apollyon. We have our very first game of the season. It is going to be our Tier 4, Hysteria versus Knights Templar. For those of you who don't know, we actually adjusted all of our tier system again, so what was previously last season as Tier 3 is now going to be our Tier 4. Our ranges are a little bit different. We can actually end up going through that in a little bit, but Hysteria versus Knights Templar, both of them are veteran teams, Hysteria being one that was previously known as Battle Cattle last seasons. And then also today I happen to have both Jedi and... Do you prefer PK Ocean, or do you end up wanting Apple Bottom?
Ocean or Apple.
Ocean? Ocean or Apple? Okay. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so we got Ocean, just so people know who the hell I'm talking about when they can see the name on the screen. Alright, with me today.
How's it going, everybody?
It looks like both teams are roaring ready to go. Accidentally invited Jedi? What do you mean? To what? I didn't invite him by accident. He's chatting with me, motherfucker. Alright. I'm just gonna do a quick ready check and then I can get into some of the other spiels.
Yeah, it looks like they're ready.
Alright, we're gonna get this pig started. Ilios being map numero uno. But yeah, so for all of you guys that are tuning in, this season we added an additional tier to our setup. So we are now currently running a 1 through 5. It's reversed from what the typical league's tier setup is normally. Whereas 5 is our lowest tier, ranging from 2300 and below. 2350. 2350 and above to 3K is tier 4. Our tier 3 is 3K to 3500. Tier 2, 35 to 4. And then 4 plus is our tier 1 grouping. And that is all for now team averages this season, with only like a little leeway for some individual members to go a little bit outside that range, about 200 above the team average range for each tier. So just so that people know some changes that have come out of this new season. No, map pools are still running as loser picks the next map. Except for this game, they actually agreed upon maps ahead of time, so it made it easier for us.
Yeah, very easy.
Alright, now we're looking at... Yeah.
Looks like Knights are running the Pharmacy.
Yep.
Knights are trying to get onto the point a little bit first. But you do have Hysteria running the Orisa and the Diva, so the Diva will be able to hopefully contest the Pharmacy, keep them a little bit from going off. But Hero on the side of Knights was able to take out DPI Stanley, getting that first pick for... Oh, and a charge by Sai going...
Oh.
Unfortunately for COD.
Yeah.
Dives in, trying to go for that one individual pick, and immediately ends up getting charged by the side. Now, I don't know if he meant to necessarily end up getting him right off the map. Or it seems to have been worth it.
Yeah.
That could have been a good point for the rest of them to push in on Hysteria's side.
And Knights did get that first point, or the point first, so they're getting that percentage up first.
And so people know who the heck they're watching. Hysteria is in green, while Knights are in red.
Oh! Daxter is able to jump out of view enough to get healed up.
Hysteria is trying to go into that little room. They're gonna push in with Shadowfang's Coalescence coming in. Knights builds. Knights.
Oh, they kept him up through all of that.
Yeah.
Well, almost. They got him back up.
Oh, this Farah is...
Hello. Thanks.
Knights are doing a really good job of being able to keep that point and contest that point, even with Shadowfang trying to coalescence into and getting that push. Knights was able to hold them back.
Well, there was Coalescence. COD had a really aggressive play with his Doomfist going in there, and there's lots being pumped through, and they lost one high nooning guy in that one push, right? So out comes Visor, but he's out in front of everybody, and Stanley ends up just getting picked right off. He just went for the hero move.
And they weren't
unable to get
able to touch to keep that point from getting contested. Next round in this, or next location is the Ruins. Another good map for Far Mercy. Let's see if Knights wants to keep on going that route. Hysteria changing it up a little bit, going away from the Orisa to the Reinhardt.
Ooh, I see a Widow. On Hysteria side.
And it looks like Knights is going to be changing it up. They're not going to be running the Far Mercy. They are going to have McCree and Junkrat with the Lucio, so trying to get it on point first. They do see if they can actually control here until the control opens up. Hysteria was trying to get a little bit of a change there with the Torbjorn, putting that turret up there, get those poke damage. Knights again able to get that first percentage point. And Hero Dax coming in work, getting those first couple of picks, or first few picks there. First on the Torbjorn and then on the Mercy and Reinhardt, allowing the Knights to be able to push up a little further to get more space.
Hello.
My apologies.
Now Hysteria is trying to group up a little bit, seeing what they can do. Coghouse does change off or switch off the Widowmaker over to the Ash. Probably try to get that dynamite and burn damage. DPI Stanley does change over to the Reaper also. Maybe trying to flank behind them, get that on the point, forces them to come out, which lets Coghouse take out Hero Dash. Coalescence does come out by Shadowfang, counter Coalescence, and Shatter. DPI Stanley does take outside though, the Reinhardt. But even with the Knights' main tank off, Knights is still able to kind of hold the point. Hysteria wasn't able to push onto that.
Oh no, Stanley.
Ooh, Stanley does get taken out by Hero Dax, Junkrat.
Oh!
Sai able to take out Shadowfang with a Fire Strike. Hysteria might need to touch here at a disadvantage. Down one person, 2 people now. Bob comes out from Hysteria. Bob was able to take out Hero Dax's Junkrat's tire. And that lets Hysteria come in.
Nice.
Moira is the only one on point, but Moira has to fade out because she was the only one on point. So Hysteria was able to flip the point, get those percentage points. Let's see if they can hold it to take this second round. Arya on Hysteria does have a shatter here. Could be looking to try to shatter to keep them out, but Sai's Reinhardt does also have shatter too coming up.
Oh no! Oh,
DPI
no.
was but a big shatter from Arya comes in. Hero Dax's Junkrat is doing a lot of good work right there. Able to take out 2 people, so Knights might be able to push in. Shadowfang did need to use Coalescence, probably to escape out a little bit. And it looks like DPI Stanley is coming in by himself, trying to get a contest. Shady Laura is switching over to the Lucio, trying to contest as well. Knights was able to flip the point over. High Noon comes in. High Noon was coming in to try to keep Hysteria off of the point, and Sai Shatter also was able to keep them off the point, so...
Does end up being a map 1.
Oh.
To Knights Templar.
Quick first map.
Impeccable.
Nice.
That was a good first map right there. Good first map on the side of Knights. You can see that they've been playing well together and practicing well together, and it shows here.
They started actually picking up at the end of last season too, which was really good to see that they have been kind of working on their stuff. I think they almost ended up taking the 3rd place, I think, at the end of last season, if I remember right.
I think so.
For tier 3?
I think they were really close. Actually, I think they got it, because...
Oh, Brave Vesperia may have chunked it near the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Knights was able to come back and get that 3rd place spot last season.
That was on the NA server, so we're now going to be switching over to an EU server because Knights do happen to be a EU team. Which one do we usually do? We usually do what?
I think it's Paris.
France or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's France.
Since that one has the best strength one, I think.
Yeah.
And the next map is going to be Eichenwald 2, which is a good map, one of my favorites. Especially since I am a Reinhardt main, and that's Reinhardt's short story.
That one was really sad, I will say.
Yeah, it really was.
One of my favorites. I still want to say Bastion's was my favorite animation out of all of them. It was adorable.
Bastion's animation always reminds me of Wall-E, so that's why it's always like such a good one.
The music was really nice too. I'm a big music person, and I really enjoy the music in that short.
Yeah, it's so good.
Looks like they're trying to strategize how best to take a nap in our servers right now.
Nope. Me too. I relate to that.
I only just woke up like hour and a half ago, so I'm not ready for a nap anywhere near just yet. So, plus I've got the coffee thing that's kind of flowing through my veins. Oh my god, that icon spamming.
I know. I was watching that. I was like, interesting.
Copy the icons. What?
Alright, so
Right, everyone.
we are just waiting on see if there's any map swaps and then confirmations before we go in. We do actually have our next map as Eichenwald, and we're switching over to the French service. Yeah, that last map, I think it was probably a little, like, you know, maybe a little bit of rust getting into our first season Hysteria side, because I've seen them play better than that time in the past. 'Cause they got the one take back on Ruins. Yeah.
With some good switching and stuff too, with Stanley switching over to the Reaper, like forcing Knights to come back onto the point and pretty much attacking them from two sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Really good strategy there.
But unfortunately, no avail. And this is where they have to be chanting comeback time.
Yeah. Of course, they could be like me. Hysteria could be like me and doesn't like control maps, and I feel I have the worst winning percentage on control maps. Worst.
It was actually our worst. It was technically our worst last season. Our first control map last season for Northmorn was our worst. If we actually ended up having control map in the 5th round, we always won it. Alright, so we are doing a couple swaps on Hysteria's side. Ari is actually going to be moving into damage. Laura is going to be... Sorry, Laura and Icarus are now going to be on the support side of things. So let's bring Icarus in for Shadowfang. Stanley will remain as... Actually, no, Stanley is what's swapping with Ari.
It's going to be the Concouse that remains as the damage.
And we'll do quick ready checks now that we got that all swapped. Wait, I did get that right. Endragon, Stanley, Cod, Arya, Icarus, and Laura. Perfect. Making sure, and it does look like we got the Knights Templar ready. Man, this is gonna be... I mean, this is a pretty, like, stocked weekend of games right now, too.
Yeah.
Like, we have, what, 4 games today, 4 games tomorrow. I think we have a few throughout the week as well next week. I think we got like Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll actually take a look at it all and reiterate it at the end of the stream. But alright, we're going to be seeing the defense will be Hysteria first.
Let's see what Knights decides to come out and attack. Besides pretty aggressive Reinhardt too, so I won't be surprised if they choose Reinhardt Zarya for the attack here.
Ready for battle.
So wait, Robo, you are in the stream, but you're not chilling with your team? That wasn't meant to rhyme.
And Hysteria are coming out with the Ryan Zarya. Kodga's coming in with the McCree. Arya with Sombra. And then you have Icarus with the Batiste and Shady Laura with the Moira.
So it looks like we're going to be seeing the mirror match between the tank lineups for the most part, and everything else is going to be kind of randomized. I like the Pharah on this map. Good ability to control, but they do happen to have a good chunk of things that could probably take out the Pharah. Between Icarus, Ahri, and COD, I mean, that's good chunk of things that can make sure that the Pharah can't actually do what she needs to. Although, early couple of big rockets on...
That was a big sleep, and then early pick on Comcast there.
Unfortunately...
Mercy was hacked as well.
Stanley had like a big ante on him. He was not able to actually do a whole lot once he got into that room.
It looks like Knights doing a really good job of like, being aggressive, getting that first tick for the first point.
They were able to get that first tick when Hysteria all went in to go get Psy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now they're able to move that payload, see how fast they will be able to move it over to the second point, if it can get to the second point. Hysteria can do a really good job. Oh, quick pick there by Herodax. Pharah onto the Laura. Probably gonna force Hysteria to move back a little bit more. Ally getting hacked by Arya. Laura comes back, so the full team on Hysteria is back again. Hoghouse able to take out allies, Reaper.
That's a solid pick right there. Oh, and he gets booped off the map. I thought he was going to land on that ledge.
You hate to see it.
And the hack comes up on the Pharah, which is great.
Coalescence comes out by Laura, being able to keep Hysteria up. At Matrix comes out as well, but Herodax is able to take out both of the supports with the barrage. Ally coming in, taking out Stamina as well. It looked like Hysteria was able to. It looked like Hysteria was going to be able to keep them and hold them back, but the clutch barrage by Herodax was enough to be able to let the Knights come in and get the second point. Knights does have 3 ultimates online right there. They do have Shatter, they do have Grab, and they do have
Ali taking out 2. That's actually a pretty big setup for the Knights to just start getting aggressive. Nice little ante on the Rhine to kind of finish him off. Laura kind of gearing up with everybody to do the last second stall, making sure they get laid on point. Out comes the EMP, they're throwing out everything they got.
Gets everybody. Shatter comes out also. So looks like it's a possibility that Hysteria is going to be able to hold on to this point. Maybe. For a quick second, it looked like Herodax was able to kind of back half there because it looked like Hysteria might have been able to C9 there, but Arya was there as the Sombra to make sure that that was not going to happen.
That was
Coghouse. It was. Ally is doing a really good. Ally on the Knight side is doing a really good job of being able to get behind them as Reaper, forcing Hysteria to kind of get behind. Shatter comes out.
Shatter block though from Stanley.
Barrage comes out, takes out Laura, and it looks like that's it for Knights being able to take the payload all the way to the third point with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left on the timer.
Yeah, that's a large time bank to actually be getting through Eichenwald with. Like that's leaving a really good spot for the Templar to be trying to defend on.
It does. it gives Knight a chance to, like, even if they lose a fight or two, they can actually, you know, take their time and go back a little bit and make sure that they group up before they engage again.
Yeah.
Which is something that, you know, you want to be able to do.
So I really liked the everybody standing basically at their spawn when they were waiting to come out for stall. They needed to get as many as they could and come out in the last second. So Hysteria did a good job at trying to make sure that they were kind of grouped up when they finally came out.
Which probably helped them get that time lower too, because Knights was really close, but since Hysteria was able to group up and get that get those numbers, they were able to kind of push them back there a little bit and force, I think, like 2 minutes less than they could have had. Knights pushing up pretty far from the choke here too.
They were just, I think, using that as a way to quickly get some charge for that Rhine. Like, if you end up seeing, I mean, he didn't really get anything. Ali did get a bunch, though. Ali's already at 13%. And a solid first pick on Icarus. That's going to delay things for Hysteria.
Yeah, that was a good fire strike there. Damage boosted fire strike, it looks like. Being able to take out Icarus. And then Ally is able to take out Dragon too. So that gives them more time that they have to kind of get back. Knight's doing a really good job of being able to hold them all on that choke there. Not giving them enough time to be able to kind of, you know, get that poke damage in there, get that ult charge. Looks like Ally coming out with a tire, using it right away.
Oh no,
Ooh.
and Laura and Ari both ended up stepping just out of the immortality field, so they actually do get picked off by that while it still takes out the immortality field. That's one of those you hate to see it.
Yeah.
That's a good tire by Ally.
I get the idea.
And now, Reinhardt is on top of
Interesting
the bridge.
position for Reinhardt. I think he's going for one of those, like, top of the ropes shatters.
Sneaky shatters, yeah.
I don't even know if it's really sneaky. He's, like, clear as day out in the open. He's just dropping down. It's telegraphed.
And he did.
Oh, and he actually gets the... But he doesn't actually get anybody out of it. He actually gets picked himself, and that actually gives a little bit of room for... Never mind, I spoke too soon. Hysteria weren't able to actually get as aggressive as they probably needed to after that pick on Psy. Jupiter is actually keeping a good chunk of the pressure out in the front right now. That they still didn't want to actually push in. Stanley did try to get in, but he didn't get the follow-up along with him.
Oh.
Ally again with the tire coming in, seeing... Oh, gets
4K!
people! And gets another kill on Codgaus.
Jupiter's is actually just holding on to this flux too. He's just waiting for some sort of like big key moment. Like he's just waiting for one of those like, you know, clutch moments at this point in time, or saving it right until the end. Which, while maybe you're not getting as much use out of it, because it does take a chunk of time to actually build up. But like, they're not even needing it. So saving it until the very end. Solid spot here.
Visor.
Countered with that ultimate. 60 seconds left.
Knights is doing a really good job. Even with Hysteria's ult advantage here, they're still able to hold on that choke really, really well.
Oh yeah, like they're doing a fantastic job at keeping this 1 point. Like, there's barely been any movement from this choke at all.
Stanley does switch off with Orisa over to the Reinhardt. Maybe trying to get a little bit more aggressive here. Coalescence does come out by Laura. Is able to take out Hero Dax, so 2 people are gone on the side of Knights. That could be the push that they need to be able to go in and get this first point. Nobody is on the point though. Nope. So Hysteria can start getting some of the percentage points here.
Oh, and they're starting to take over at this point in time. They're all there.
2-Tix comes in.
They're ready.
The only one, Bob comes in, but Bob is not on the point.
They get the res off on
Hysteria's close. Finally, Hysteria able to get that point. That was just that little bit of piece that they needed, but they were able to get that point.
This is where they're going to want to try and start making sure that they can get some of the steamroll going. Perhaps get a couple of those stragglers. Oh, they're letting them escape.
Yeah.
Getting a couple of those stragglers with like cyanide and everything actually may have been a good call to kind of push in on that. Let's maybe one or two of the people push that payload in, and then that way they actually don't have to do full team fights anymore. They could keep the staggering going. So this is going to be they're allowing for a big full team to get there, and actually Cod's getting a first nice quick pick on Ali. That's a great one. We got a flank Junkrat at the moment.
The surprising thing is that Knights is giving them a lot of space here, but Sai is trying to get behind them, probably looking for a back shatter.
Nice shatter from Stanley.
And shatter comes in from Sai from the back. Gets N-Dragon also with the charge.
Oh, but Stanley had the immortality field to keep him up there. So he had the advantage during that Rhine battle.
Coalescence, they come out on the side of Knights. Don't know how to pronounce Moira's name. But they were able to kind of push back and keep Knights up. They might want to get that, Hysteria might want to get that early pick on Allies Junkrat, because that Junkrat is doing, able to keep them back.
Oh, out comes the tire, yeah.
Icarus unfortunately used that immortality field a little early, and once that immortality field was gone, Ally was able to go in with the Junkrat tire and take out those two people.
It was good to recognize that was there. It would have been something good to have somebody ult tracking that Junkrat, especially with so much spam that he's getting in there.
Yeah.
Almost have to expect he's going to have it at this point. Out comes the Coalescence, countered with
Bob comes out. Bob comes out on both sides. Major Lord does take out the Knights as Bob. But it looks like Coalescence comes out on the side of Knights, and Tire comes out as well.
Although they successfully thwarted Ari's tire right in the last second there. It was pretty clutch on that one. Because that tire actually really well could have turned that into final fight right at the choke, or sorry, the final point.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're doing a really good job in that first point there, being able to hold the Hysteria on that choke for pretty much the whole match.
Yeah, it was I think the fact that they had that that extra time bank, like they had all of they had a giant lead on the time bank for first point and everything. It gave them a lot of time to get all the way through, whereas unfortunately for Hysteria, they had to get it in overtime on their attack. I think it was overtime, right? Yeah, it was overtime when they got to that point.
It was a good switch on Stanley too, from going from the Orisa over to the Reinhardt, which gave Hysteria a chance to be a little bit more aggressive, especially after they got that pick off of Kodgaus getting allies, Junkrat. They were to go in there and start getting those percentage points on that first point.
Most definitely. Now we're moving on over to Volskaya. This would be game point for Knights Templar, but Hysteria could actually start taking this back, and they're going to need to actually do a reverse sweep here.
Believe in them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think they've done it a few times in the past as well too, so it's not out of the realm of the possibility to.
But it just shows pressure's now on. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly do a ready check for our teams here.
And you switched back to U.S. servers, right?
Yeah, it's US Central right now. So we got it all good there. Yep, okay, it does look like there will be swaps for Hysteria. They're just sorting out what their next game plan is. Volskaya is actually like a one that Hysteria really happens to like to choose a lot of the time.
It's a good map. It's.
I got sick of it last season, but yeah, it's a good map. Because I think like most of last season, really, like we only had Horizon, Volskaya, and Hanamura, so we played nothing but Volskaya and Hanamura. Then it wasn't until like near the end of last season when we ended up when the map pool ended up being like eliminated entirely, and they, except for the fact that they were just like, but we're just not doing Horizon or Paris because people hate that, and we're redoing them. So we were like, okay, well, we're doing the same thing. If that's what's going to be in comp, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Which I was totally happy with.
Oh, I can be happy with that. I don't know. You know what the funny thing is we didn't actually have like, we were a little hit and miss, I think, on Paris, but I mean, I think most teams were, but our point A was actually pretty solid back in the day. I think this was actually before your time there, Jedi, that we used to do that a lot.
Yeah, I don't ever remember actually playing Paris with you.
Really,
That's
the
how
Knights
bad
like this
Paris
map
was.
too, eh? Yeah, no, Duck, you may have just actually like completely jinxed your team here. Just because you said it. You better hope that you can find some wood.
I like this map, especially first point attack, because usually I play Reinhardt, but I like to play Ball the first point attack for the first run, and almost nobody ever actually sees it coming, and I can actually like get that space.
Now every single one of them who's watching this is now going to see that coming.
It's fine.
Granted, it's not really actually part of our actual strats, so it's just you and comp. But
yeah, yeah, I don't do it in league matches. I do it in comp games because in comp games nobody sees it coming.
Yeah. Here, I mean, I think you've run Ball on .2 defense and.
That's only if I'm trying to stall.
Yeah. Usually last minute, but
yeah.
And you know which we very well will end up probably seeing at some point in time here, because I'm pretty sure that a couple of people on Hysteria actually end up switching to Ball for stall on defense here too. They did spin to win through .2.
Yeah.
But it just depends on who we end up seeing. Cause I can't remember whether it's either Stanley or Cod, I think. That rocket. Actually, it may be a past teammate now that I'm thinking about it from old Battle Cattle days.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Stanley on the Ball.
Actually, Actually, give me a second here. I'm quickly gonna grab my laptop because I wanted to see if I still have a old doc that I used to keep for the league's games.
But yeah, I do like Volskaya. for the TCP maps that are available now, I think Volskaya is probably my favorite, just because
Out of the assault maps?
for the TCP maps, yeah.
Ew, so wrong.
Well, I mean, we've played Hanamura so much, like
I wouldn't
that
even
I'm
put
just,
Hanamura.
I'm
I actually
kinda tired.
love Anubis.
Yes. That's my favorite one as Anubis.
I like attacking and defending first point, but second point on Anubis is just I hate it.
2CP
Both
defending
attacking and-
anything. Sorry,
Well,
any
even-
second point in 2CP, that's what sucks.
Yeah.
I want to say Hanamura is my least favorite, though. Of the few that you can play, I don't really like Hanamura because I've seen it so much.
Yeah. Well, last season is basically all we fucking saw. Okay, so we got a few swaps here that we're moving into. We're getting Icarus and Shadow will now be on their tank lineup. End-Dragon, Stanley, COD. So, End-Dragon's now moving him into damage.
Ooh, Shadow. I'm excited to see Shadow as a tank.
Here we go. That should actually be, I don't really remember Shadowfang so much on tanks. So that actually, I don't know if they actually had ball in their wheelhouse. I should have said hamster in their wheelhouse, because that would have been so much better. Or hamster wheel. As a visual.
And you said you didn't mean to rhyme that last time. Like,
I actually really didn't. It's one of those things that, you know, I think about a lot of them after I say things. Where I should have gone with, like, you know, the hamster wheel instead of ball wheel. Like, I wasn't even trying to make that connection. It was just as soon as I said it, I was just like, oh, but he's a hamster, and I just said wheel. That would have been so much better. Hindsight 2020. Where I should have gone with, like, you know, the hamster. I go for the ready check. It's like, sure. Alright, let's get this one here going. Alright, I don't think I actually happen to have that friggin' dock anymore. That's fortunate. Alright, so let's see here. Volskaya.
plus, another reason why I like this map too is that Sombra's animated short.
Oh. Yeah.
And Sombra was the reason why I picked up Overwatch. Like, as soon as I saw Sombra's character, like, I was like, I gotta get Overwatch.
Oh, so you didn't play Overwatch until Sombra came out, eh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? She was one of the earlier champs. That's still actually pretty soon into the, early into the days, I guess. Because it was what? She was the second released one after the thing? Because what, Ana was the first one that was released after launch. And I think Sombra, and that had like that long air G thing. They ended up going about. Alright, is it one of these robots that does the robot? Alright, so we're gonna be seeing some.
I keep on trying to find it, and I don't think. Oh, dive.
It looks like we're gonna end up seeing a bit of dive on Knights Templar's attack there. I mean, a little interesting form of dive. It's just mostly tank dive. The Reaper himself, I don't really consider Reaper much of a divey hero. he can get behind people. He just flanks and then he just. But they're setting way far back. It looks like for
Hysteria.
They're going almost right back to point. They're giving a lot of space, and it's going to be dangerous to that Reaper that can actually, like, he's already on top of that bunker. They have a long rotation they have to do. They're giving a lot of the high ground to the monkey. That was
does get taken out. So it looks like Hysteria is able to get that good first defense there.
Hysteria proving me wrong with that strat there about being back.
Get through this. Hi.
And And then looks like Knights is going to be switching over off of the Winston over to the Reinhardt again. Sai does stay on the D.Va though, because Sai didn't get taken out. Again, Hysteria is giving them that point, or giving them all that space to be able to come in.
It's a little tricky, but they're trying to get some of those solid walls. Not quite getting the separation they need. Oh, and now already comes out with Shatter.
Yeah, nice. Shadowfang does get taken out by Junkrat, but it looks like Hysteria is still holding on, still doing a good job.
Slave's getting chased down by Brig. Todd does get taken out in the end.
And Dragon does get taken out by the Pharah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that it's not Sai on the Reinhardt when they did the swap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jupi's was the Winston in the dive. And on the Knight side, it looks like Ally is coming up with the tire. They already have Barrage ready. And it looks like they're gonna have D.Va Bomb and Shatter too. Shadowfang comes in, charges in onto the Reinhardt. They both counter charge.
I think Icarus knew that the Dax was trying to go for a back barrage because he just kept on that Pharah. It was a little telegraphed.
Arya with the Coalescence coming in, trying to keep the team up. Does take out Jupi with the Coalescence.
Oh, and we got a DC. Oh shit.
And then the fight was already over, so no worries. A DC by Sai here.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was just like, yeah, because I saw that, like, basically everybody was dead, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't actually have a stopwatch on this thing. I should have had one of those up. I'm ready to go.
I got a minute stopwatch coming, maybe.
I just ended up taking a look at the time. It'll be probably only just a brief moment, but...
Hysteria is doing a really good job here. They have some good defensive strategies here going on. And it looked like they were going to be able to hold that first point. I can't remember exactly what happened, that somehow Knights was able to get it, because it looked like Hysteria was able to actually keep them
he's here?
From that first point.
Yeah, he's in.
Oh,
oh, that is unfortunate for Todd.
Yeah.
Accidentally falls off the map. Oh, and another unfortunate thing for Sai is that all that ult charge for the D.Va Bomb, I think, goes away.
It does. It's a huge disadvantage when you end up having somebody on your team DC.
Yeah.
Knights does have a Shatter, Tire, and Barrage with the Coalescence and the Valkyrie, so Barrage comes out, doesn't get anybody. Oh, does get Shadowfang though.
But this is going to be a good counter freeze. There's a solid chunk of people frozen in there. And the block out, so they're not going to escape, but DPI does get taken out, despite his ability to block them off. They used the grab in order to try and finish them off. And that's unfortunate, it didn't stick.
Yeah. That was interesting, because it looked like for a second when Ally was doing the tire that nobody was on point for the side of Hysteria, so Ally could have been on point, getting those percentage points.
Oh no, that pick on And that was a fat shatter, and here we have a ball that wasn't able to actually get themselves planted into that center spot. Jupiter's actually had like, oh, nice counter charge. Oh, and the dodge from it.
Coalescence comes out from Knights. And they're trying to, the ball is trying to actually stay there. With the Torbjorn, when did we switch to the Torbjorn? If they were to get that turret and focus on whoever's trying to spin the win. Oh, Sai with a good bomb right there, able to take out Arya there for the final second. Or final ticks.
Score 0-2. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Hysteria, like I said, was doing a really good job of having that defense. The DC for Knights might have kind of thrown Hysteria off of their game a little bit.
Ready for battle.
We'll see how Hysteria wants to attack. Looks like they're going to be going with the Rein Zarya. At least for right now, they're going to be going with the Widowmaker, and with Stanley and Dragon going with Junkrat. Arya with the Moira, Cardgaus with the Ana. So that's some good heals and a good nano that Shadowfang won't be able to have later on. Be able to get that aggressiveness. And right now, Knights are going to be running Jupi on the Reinhardt still. And Sai being on the D.Va, which don't see too often. Ally with the Junkrat, Hero with the Mei.
Wow, almost half charge right off of that first gate opening for that Junkrat.
Having a good Junkrat on your team is really fun, but then if you're facing a good Junkrat, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, exactly.
And Juby gets taken out by Stanley. Shadowfang able to take out on the Knights. So it looks like it's some really good picks here on Hysteria. Able to take out a lot of people. The only one that's left is Knights' Junkrat ally. But it looks like they're going to be able to take this first point rather quickly, actually. So they're going to have plenty of time to be able to get that second point, attack that second point. The Knights does get a change though. They're going to be going from the D.Va over to the Sigma, so double shield coming out on the side of the Knights. Ally does have Tire, so might be able to see that Tire kind of quick here. On the side of Hysteria, they do have Coalescence, so the Coalescence can be used possibly to be able to push in a little bit if they wanted to. But it looks like Knights is doing a really good job of trying to contest that high ground, but they do come off. Oh,
nice
Ally
double.
Takes out the supports. Even though Shadowfang was able to take out Ally, the supports were still taken out. So it forces Hysteria to kind of fall back and group up.
Let's see you get past this.
Ally does switch off from the Junkrat over to the Torbjorn here, so might be using that Torbjorn turret to kind of keep some of the people off of the point here. We have Hysteria coming and pushing in, trying to push a little bit here with good wall there. Forcing taking on some the team. Blizzard comes in on the night, and the choke. Even using Icarus, and so Icarus or Hero Dex was able to take out Arya and Icarus, and then Juby finishing off Shadowfang with the Fire Strike.
God does seem to escape though.
Yeah.
DPI Stanley with the Widowmaker sights coming on, so Hysteria knows.
And Dragon was just way too deep. He needed to get out.
Yeah.
Nice, quick, early pick on the May. Unfortunately, it's probably going to end up being back before they're all ready to actually get back into things. We're going to just Reaper from behind the truck.
Really good job of being able to control that high ground right there.
It's a good vantage point to keep.
Yeah. It is a good vantage point to keep, especially as a Junkrat or as a May. Oh, and Dragon slept.
Does get woken up though, he's good.
Shadowfang does get resurrected, allowing GB to come in and get a little bit aggressive and get Shadowfang. Hero Dex able to take out DPI Stanley's Reaper. Knights does have Graphitic Flux, they do have Shatter, as well as Valkyrie and Nano Boost. But Hysteria
both teams have
has
a good chunk of ults at the moment, right? Like we got 4 versus 5 at the moment, and I mean, 2 of them are going to get at this fight. On so they're going to have 6 coming up for Knights at this point in time. All of which fairly strong ults.
Yeah.
What is this power?
They're gonna have to approach this really safely.
Hero Dex is trying to kind of risky there. They will get out though.
To set up. They're deciding on the plan. He does actually have to get
Coalescence does come out as well, but the shatter from Knights able to take out the Coalescence from Arya. Blizzard also comes out.
That Blizzard was a great counter, actually.
Absolutely.
They did actually happen to end up using what? They used Valk, Nano, Blizzard, and Shatter, whereas Hysteria really only. I keep forgetting their name because since they've changed it a couple times throughout the. I said Hysteria, not Siri. Fuck off phone. But I mean, like, they traded basically 2 for 3, I think, at that point in time.
Ally comes out with another tire here, able to take out support and an off tank, and then Sai able to come in and take out Shadowfang too. So,
Reaper coming into the back, I guess he's mostly trying to just escape.
Yeah.
Probably trying to get a little bit of some ult charge as well.
Yeah, because that could be a fight-winning ultimate. Same thing with a tire. I mean, they both got a tire with the grab. They don't really have anything on Knights Templar that could actually really counter this. If they end up relying on that combo, and then clean up with Reaper, they should be solid. But they're going to want to make sure that they kind of keep themselves coordinated with this. And Dragon on top of that Ana right the second.
And Dragon has a really good position of being able to try to get them since.
Oh, and out comes the nice from. Oh no, but he kills himself. Or he gets rocked. I didn't even see him get rocked from.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Sai.
Oh, but
nice
Hysteria is
cancel.
able to come in. Looks like the only one that's left is Hero Dax. Hero Dax does a good job of being able to wall themselves off. Juby does come out with the.
Out comes Tyre.
Tyre comes out again, trying to get somebody.
Does get Arya.
Looking for people.
That's not going to be good because now their sustain's going to be gone, and what usually ends up turning into a stall game, they now just but countered by N-Dragon.
Good Tyre. But it looks like N-Dragon is the only one there though. Might not be enough.
Yeah, unfortunate. Almost a clutch moment from N-Dragon there. He tried to even the tides. Unfortunately, there was too much of his team already gone in order to take advantage, I guess, of that double kill. And with that spawn advantage from Knights. That was gonna be tough. That one was that was a good one.
That was a good shatter because Arya was doing the coalescence there, so it would have stopped that coalescence, and stopped that push really from Hysteria with that shatter.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah, it was a solid shatter, delaying a bunch of the time that the Rhine was nanoed for getting up, being able to put that pressure right back on him. I mean, there was like what, 3 ults per side, I think, in that one fight in general.
Yeah.
So that does end up being a 3-0 in favor of Knights Templar. So congratulations, Knights, on winning our Season 4 first matchup. Now the difficult part of everything, MVPs. Well, MVP plus honorable mentions.
For MVP, I would say Allie.
Yeah.
I think Allie did a lot of...
I was thinking Allie or Tears, yeah.
There were some really clutch tires, and really big tires on Allie, that gave the Knights many opportunities to be able to, get that game, get those maps.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's who I vote.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get on board with that. So congratulations, Ali, on being the season's first MVP. Honorable mentions, either team?
I would say Puppeteers, honorable mention for Knights.
That'd probably be where I lean to, because the control and, I mean, being, like, when they were back up for, being size off tank and everything like that, they were a good portion of the pressure to make that space, obviously, for both Ali and Hero. I mean, Hero, depending on whether they were on fire or not, obviously, different story, but... And then, I think Jupiter's ended up, definitely with at least an honorable mention there. And then for your Hysteria...
For me, it's kind of a toss-up between Stanley and Shadowfang. Mainly because they were able to kind of flex where it's needed, and whichever role they were on, they were still doing, having an impact on the team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So which one are you guys thinking here?
I would say Stanley. For the exact reason.
Alright. I'm just typing it out here.
So chat is asking for next games.
Yep, I am pulling that up as well. So this weekend's game, so we just had this one at 2:30. So just over an hour from now, we'll have ADL versus Outcasts. That will be our very first Tier 1 game, which is actually going to be a rivalry showdown. It was our first and second place from last season. Granted, I mean, we have a couple of changes for who's in which tier, I think, this season. So I think Cloud9 was the only other one that remained in in our Tier 1. That was also there last season.
ADL
and Outcast. That is. I mean, Outcast was the only one to actually drop a match for ADL last season. They dropped one, I think. Or no, they dropped 2, and I think they if I remember right. I can't remember exactly. I know they dropped barely any, and Outcast was the one that dropped at least one from them, or at least the first one. So that's at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time today for us, followed by Jedi in my game, Fenrir Guard versus Shiva Academy, because we have actually changed from Northbourne being now more of an organization where we actually have multiple teams under our belt. So we have Fenrir Guard, Berserkers at the moment. More to come. But that'll be Fenrir Guard versus Shiva Academy at 5 p.m. And then at 8 p.m. tonight, we'll actually have DDM versus Culture or Academy, I guess. That is 2 brand new Tier 2 teams. Which is the 3500 to 4K. That's going to be kind of cool to see some of them. Shiva Academy is also a brand new team that we face at 5 p.m. But that's our 4 games for today. Tomorrow we have another 4 games, which will be our Tier 5 has Titans and Versus at noon, so same time as this. The 6 Heads and Alpha Armada, also Tier 5 game at 2:30. Shiva, which is the Tier 3 version of Shiva Academy, another one of their it's a brand new org to the league, versus Brave Vesperia, which is part of our Tier 3 team, grouping. And then our old Clown 9 that used to be in Tier 1 last season has now gone into Tier 2, and they'll be facing a brand new team, Jets, at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So 8 games all weekend long, and then we recommence. I think the 18th is a Friday, if I'm not mistaken, or Thursday. Which one is it? I can't remember. I think, yeah, it looks like the 18th is the Thursday. So we recommence again next Thursday for our games. We'll make sure that somebody ends up announcing it through the end of one of our games tomorrow night at the end. So that way people know what's going to be coming up. Oh, hey, look, we got actually a game at noon next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, we face Templar next weekend. So the guys that just won today, we get to end up taking them on at noon.
Oh, fun.
Next Saturday, eh? Sweet, excellent. Well, man, I'm looking at this schedule right now, and there is so many new teams. I know there's a few old teams that have rebranded. Like us and Hysteria. Hysteria used to be Battle Cattle, obviously. So it's just, this is actually shaping up to be going to be like a packed season. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
We're going all the way until the end of August for this. So, awesome.
Alrighty.
Well, thank you both. I'm going to end up ending things around here, because that way we can get a little bit of downtime for everybody who's watching, so they can, grab breakfast, grab lunch, whatever, before they can come back and watch ADL versus Outcast, some of our, top Tier 1 teams.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Actually, I'm going to double check to make sure there's nothing on Twitch that they were asking for. Yep, no, there's nothing else. All right, well, thanks, guys. See you soon.